Hey, we'd like to welcome you to Bears Banter. You got myself, the host, Bernard Muhammad, Guy Moore, and we got my man Jay Beasley. How y'all doing
What's
this
going
evening?
on? What's going on, fella?
Yeah,
We
I'm
good.
doing
We good.
good.
We good.
Yeah, so we about to do this for the first time. We're gonna dip into the Chicago Bears season 2020. Hey, want you? I'm gonna have each one of y'all introduce yourself. Just say a little something. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, former high school football player. Just love football. What about you, guy?
Well, hey, lifelong Bears fan. Watch football played on the street, but high school, college baseball players, straight up Bears nut.
Okay, introduce yourself, Jay.
Okay, I'm Jay. I'm Jay Beasley, former high school football player, all-stater, former college football player, Alcorn State University for a couple of
Oh,
years, um, and a Bears fan since 1977, and a season ticket holder. So
yeah,
Yes,
I'm,
sir.
I'm
yeah.
in it. I'm in it to win it.
Okay, okay.
Representing.
So 2020 has been interesting because we didn't have any preseason. Get my camera right here. Oh, I need to go this way.
Yeah.
Uh, it's kind of hard to get a feel of what's going to happen because we haven't seen that third game in preseason. But based off last night, we kind of seen a little mixed results where Kansas looked kind of sharp after they kind of got into the second quarter. They started looking a little clicking along cylinders. Where you kind of had Houston, they scored right out front, but then they kind of looked rusty until you kind of got the garbage time. So, hey Jay, so what do you think how we're gonna look on Sunday as far as all the rest of the football games before we get to the Bears?
Well, I actually think it's going to be a little sloppy. It's going to be a little sloppy because it hasn't been no preseason. Um, the good thing about it is the Bears haven't really brought anything new to the offense outside of the tight end position, which is what they really needed. Uh, Jermaine Finney is going to step in at guard, which I think that's going to be good. He's going back to his original spot that he played in college, where he played tackle in Seattle for a few years, but they moved him back inside. So I think that's going to be good. In the tight end room, I think this offense needs a tight end. And with Jimmy Graham and the rookie Komet, which was the number one rated tight end in the draft that we actually got in the second round. I think the offense is going to be okay. It's going to be okay, but it has to move through the tight end position as far as the passing game goes, which opens up everybody on the outside. But Nagy
Mhm.
has got to run the football. He's got to run the
Right,
football.
right. Yeah, what you think, guy, as far as looking at last night game and looking at the rest of the season, before we kind of get into the Bears specifically.
You know, you know what? Jay touched on a subject earlier that makes all the sense in the world. As far as everybody's gonna be sloppy, but see, in that respect, everybody's on a level playing field. Nobody's had a preseason game.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
just like he said, which is like totally on point, those teams who are established teams, who are not only just established teams, but teams who are playoff teams, are going to they're going to be like front runners. You're going to probably see a lot of run up scores. Like yesterday, look at Kansas City. They were like one of the last teams standing last year, and they showed it. As sloppy as they were, they still were able to blow some points out. This year, to be perfectly honest with you, with the offense as bad as it was, they can't help but to go up. I mean, that's how bad they were. And unfortunately, a lot of times people kind of drank the Kool-Aid year before last. But if you look at it, the numbers were almost similar the year that they, had their breakout year. But it's because their defense was so good.
Yeah,
All these scores. So now, yes, last year exposed our offense. And we can kind of see what it really is. But I mean, as bad as they were last year, they can't help but to go up.
okay. Yeah, let's go to our first question. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the Bears in 2020? I think for myself, my opinion, I think the defense is definitely the strength. Um, I'm I'm not sure about the offense yet because one of their weaknesses on the offense was the offensive line last year as well, and they didn't get a lot of push. And special teams was suspect at times. And for you to win football games, you have to at least win the two phases of the game. So
The game,
yeah, so
absolutely.
you're either gonna win in defense and special teams or offense and special teams. And then your
Right,
great teams win in all three phases of the game. Let's
right.
start with you, Jay. What do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of the Bears in 2020?
Well, I definitely think the strength is the defense. It is the defense. You got Eddie Goldman who opted out because of COVID, which is understandable, and I commend them for that. But they signed Mario Edwards, which is a good replacement. You got Bilal Nichols. You got Roy Robertson Harris. So, I'm looking at the secondary because you got the rookie that's going to be starting, Jalen Johnson, opposite of Kyle Fuller. And you got a new safety in Tayshaun Gibson, but he's a veteran, so I'm kind of like okay with him. Buster Screen at the as the nickel. So that's the strength of this team. That's the strength of this team. Now, the weakness that I see is the running back position because I felt like they should have signed a veteran running back, a la LaShawn McCoy, a la maybe Leonard Fournette, to kind of back up the second-year guy, David Montgomery. I can understand why they passed on Leonard Fournette. I can't understand because from what we know, he's a cancer to the locker room and all of that stuff. And the Bears are definitely not a me team. So that's the weakness that I see on the Bears right now is the running back position. I could be wrong, but that's what I see.
Okay. Hey, what are your guy? What do you see are the strengths and weaknesses of the Bears in 2020?
I mean, the strength is a given. It's the defense. I mean, as you look last year, a lot of people adjusted, a lot of offensive schemes adjusted to Khalil Mack, and we still ended up fifth in the league. So they're lights out. They're a given. I agree with you on the running backs, man. Because see, here's the deal, man. Like Tariq Coleman, hell of a guy. He's a speedy guy. Don't get me wrong, but a 5'8" dude in the Central. You start seeing guys because before it's like, okay, he was pinball wizard, he was able to cut through things. Now it's like when you first come to the league and you do something like that, it's like, oh yeah, he's great. But they adjust to it. And it's easier to adjust to stopping a 5'8" 180-pound dude. I mean, so and y'all saw it last year. I mean, Tariq did his thing the year before last, but them same things he was doing the year before last, this year, they were just like flattening this dude. And David Montgomery, man, when they didn't sign, when Fournette was out there, I was like, come on, let's get him. And they didn't get him. I mean, with them, because Montgomery is Montgomery, but what's gonna happen? You get a guy like him, he's a workhorse, he's a yak guy, he's a guy that's gonna carry guys, but with a guy like that, he's susceptible to getting himself injured. What do you have? We just gotta stop running these gimmick plays on offense. Like you say, the offensive line has to improve.
Another conversation right there.
Yep, they have to improve, man. But you can't. You got to get back into that black and blue football, man. I don't care how great of a pass or bad of a pass. If you don't have a running game, it's moot.
Right. Hey, that's a great point. Before we go to the next question, I wrote down some stats of the running game. Last year, the Bears as a team rushed for 1,632 yards. David Montgomery rushed for 889 yards on 242 attempts. That's not too good. 3.7 yards a carry. I mean, you're not doing nothing unless you're doing 4 yards a carry at a minimum. Tariq Cohen, I love this rookie year. Last year, he looked like he was in love with the sideline. And like I was talking to Jay the other day, I think he thought those yards count. running sideways. Sideways yards don't count.
You can't
So
go,
you want to run and shake the coach hand or something.
Yeah,
you can't go
I
East and West.
agree.
But his average was
That East West is
3.14
a
yards.
killer.
Yeah, yeah,
Unless you Bo Jackson, you East West,
yeah.
no.
Cordell
But,
Patterson rushed for 103 yards,
mhm.
6.1 a carry. But you got to look at that. A lot of that was gadget type stuff with him.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
what his role is going to be. But let's
Yeah.
move to the next question here. Jay, can you give your assessment of the Bears defense this year? Kind of drill
Well,
down
again,
to the specifics.
I like the defense.
Okay.
I like the defense. I like the defense because for these reasons. You got Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn, which
Right.
I need to say, we don't know if Robert Quinn gonna play this week.
Yeah, it
Because
looks like he's on an injury list, right?
he's doubtful. He's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But because you got established veterans on this defense, they were seventh against the run. I'm sorry, seventh against the pass last year, and fifth against the run.
Right.
There ain't too many changes in that defense. Pagano got a year under his belt with these guys, so I'm thinking the deep it's the strength of the team right now. The defense is okay. You got Eddie Jackson moving back to free safety, where he was playing strong safety last year because we had Clinton Dix. He's moving back to strong safety. I'm sorry, free safety. So that's going to be an advantage. He's going to be able to ball hawk and do what he do as a baller at the safety position. You got Kyle Fuller, who is an established Pro Bowler. And, you got the rookie. But with Tayshaun Gibson at strong safety, I think he's going to be able to help out the rookie a little bit. Bust a screen at the nickel back. The Bears defense is going to be okay. They're going to be okay.
Okay. I saw some today that was saying maybe Khalil Mack was having some kind of issue.
Well,
did you see anything on that?
He was listed as questionable with a knee injury. I mean, but take that for what it's worth. Everybody on the injury report listed as questionable is questionable because they're in the NFL. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Our next question is for Guy. Can you give your assessment of the Bears offense this year?
No, I'm just playing. Well, you know what? I took some notes of this interesting.
Run the ball.
Yeah, that's a given, but I'm gonna go another slant too. Man, we were 29th in points scored, 29th in yards per game, 31st in yards per play, 30th in rush yards, 25th in third down conversions, 24th in red zone scoring. So basically, like I said, when I said before, it's like if we give the defense just a little bit more, we got a chance to be better. If we want to go beyond the playoffs, we'd have to do way better than that. So I'll go this route. Mm-hmm. They signed Bill Lazor as an offensive coordinator. He's with Cincinnati. A lot of people don't really know who he is, but I'll give you some stuff. You know who Nick Foles is? Of course, Ryan Tannehill, Andy Dalton. Nick Foles had a Pro Bowl season with this guy. He reconstructed Ryan Tannehill and Andy Dalton's career. Now, basically, what I will say about Trubisky, he's like a 3-inch quarterback in a 7-inch league. Got it, but it's a little short. The problem is, I looked at this one montage. I was looking at this thing with Trubisky. You take a guy like that who doesn't have like the lights out skill of Mahomes or Watson, and what you do is take what he's good at and you capitalize on it. My thing is this. Here's the problem, man. I saw this thing in the second quarter last year against Kansas City. They had this play where they had my guy Robinson on the right. You had Javon Williams and Anthony Miller out. They both ran clear out routes. And your boy Robinson come through left on a wheel. One-on-one coverage by itself. Trubisky could have field goal kicked this ball for a touchdown. He overthrow. Why do you have a guy who is 38% year before last, but 33% last year, in passes completed over 20, 30 yards. I'm thinking like a rocket scientist could tell you, okay, we don't need him throwing nothing like that. Look at a guy like Joe Montana. Well, Joe Montana, let's keep it real. He had a rubber band arm, but that dude was like lights out. Anywhere from 20, 30 yards, if Jerry Rice, anybody was open, you knew when he let that thing go, it was going to be a completion. Of course, like I said, with David Montgomery, he needs help because Tariq Coleman ain't it. There's no disrespect to him. He's great, but I kind of look at it like if he's on a West Coast offense where it's a little thinner and it's more offense, he's fine. But you are like a black and blue division, man. They'll light him up. It's the key is definitely a running game because when the running game opens up, you throw a play action pass. Now you got guys standing around here like, you can stack guys in the box all day long because you know he's gonna either overthrow it, they're gonna rush Trubisky and freak him out, or you're gonna stop the run. But offense, we got a really nice pickup, man. We got this kid Komet from Notre Dame. He's pretty good. I mean, he needs to learn how to block. Jimmy Graham is Jimmy Graham, but the thing that I'm more concerned about is Allen Robinson because his contract is up. Get a man his money because as bad as our offense has been, he's the 14th ranked wide receiver in the league. So there's no outlier here. There's no smoke and mirrors or nothing. This dude was on a bad offense and still got 1,000 yards. Let me see. He had 1,074 total yards. He had 7 total touchdowns.
98 catches.
He had 98 catches. He had 28 broken tackles and 393 yards after contact.
Yeah.
Give that man his money. But
give him his money. Pay that loop.
That's what I hate about like a lot of our teams, like our Bears teams. What they want to do is they want to try to get so much for a little. Where you look at all these other teams, they're like, okay, dude is great, dude just showed up, dude gonna do it. Let's give him that money. They're gonna play with him, and they're gonna probably drag it out. I don't think his play is gonna be effective. But what if he gets hurt? But that's my assessment, man. The defense is what the defense is, but the offense itself, it doesn't even just need, in my opinion, even if it got a little bit better, they do better, but they need to make a leap in bounds this year, man, for us to even do anything.
Well, and I just want to add something. I just want to add something about the offense. Yeah. I just think that Matt Nagy needs to let Trubisky play. And what I mean by that is, all these coaches go into the game with these scripted plays. In-game situation calls for you to go off that. Go off of that. It's like I say, you first and goal at the 5 and you bring in 5 wides because that's what your play chart is saying. I'm going to be me. No, don't be you.
Right.
Don't
call the game in front of you.
Call the game in front of you. Yeah. Call the game that's in front of you. Call the game for the players that you have and not the players that you wish you had.
I agree. I totally agree with that. But you look at all these other teams.
And again, like I say, last year the Bears went 8-8, and everybody wanted to blame Trubisky. And I know I'm kind of getting off script because we're talking about the offense.
No, you did.
Everybody wants to blame Trubisky. But dude, I like you as a head coach, but right now, I'm looking at you suspect as a play caller.
Right.
I'm really looking at you suspect as a play caller.
Right.
So you need to in-game adjust to what you see in front of you and not what you got scripted.
Right. He needs to manage. He needs to manage the whole game and get a play call and duties over to someone else. But let me move to the next question. How do you see the game playing out this Sunday, guy?
It's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, but something I was like, when they brought Nick in, I'm like, oh, okay, look, I think Nick's going to get this job and such, and they named him the quarterback, and I'm like, okay. But I looked at it, Mitch is 3-0 against the Lions. He had a 500-yard game. Or he's 500. He had a 500. He had a 500. It's 5. Okay, well, he had a 500-yard game against them. So they're going to let him start. But the difference this year is the fact that, like I said, you got Foles sitting there, and you got a guy who basically came in and won a Super Bowl. So experience-wise, the guys are not rattled. Mitch need to, and like you said, I can't blame Mitch because Mitch only had a couple games or something like that in college, so many games, and he comes in and you throw him into the line because it's Glennon guy we've paid all this money
Yeah,
for. But
a hell of a guy to learn under.
I say the Bears win 24-17.
24-17. What's your prediction, Jay?
Okay,
Okay,
guys.
my game.
I see that. I'm actually glad that they named Mr. Starter because in my head, to me, you can't go with Foles because he hasn't been here long enough to know what this offense is. So you have to go with what you know. Mitch is 5-0 in his career, over 1,300 yards. I think 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions against Detroit. So I really think I don't think that really played a part in it as far as them naming him the starter.
Right.
But I think they had to go because Foles, I had already said a couple of days ago, I'm still not familiar with the terminology and blah, 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 blah. So,
right.
I think that was a good call. And the bottom line is you give Mitch this chance because if he falls on his face, then you already know. We already pick up your few of your options.
Right.
If
So what's your score? What's your score?
I'm thinking 21-19. Bears.
Okay. I'm gonna go Bears 19-17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going with 19 because the kicker is out on injured, and I'm gonna say the guy coming in gonna miss one extra point, and that's how they're gonna be. It's gonna be 6. Then they get another touchdown, 13, 2 field goals, 19-17.
No. You know what I'm gonna say? You know what I'm gonna say about 19?
What's
Now
that?
you're gonna go for 2 points. Now you're going for 2
You gonna try to go? Yeah.
It ain't gonna be no kicking. Now you're gonna go for 2 points. He gonna go for 2 points when he don't have to.
Right. You know what? Okay, let's go to our predictions now. Here's the here's the big part.
Drum roll, please.
Okay. Drum roll. We had to get some sound effects in here. Okay, what are the predictions of wins and losses for the Bears this year? I guess I'll go first this time. It's a little hard to say because this is going to be so key on Mitch play. What I'm saying, if Mitch, because you can't play the take him in games, take him out of games. You starting him, he's starting him. If you take him out, he's done for the season. So it depends on how that plays out. If he turns the corner this year, I got a better prediction. But right now, I'm gonna go as the Bears are going to go 6-10.
Wow.
Now, if Mitch turns the corner, I'm gonna go 9-7. But if Mitch doesn't turn the corner and they have to go and they lost some games and they have to bring in, I'm looking at 6-10 season. Jay, you up next.
6-10. Wow.
6-10 if Mitch don't play well.
We on totally different scopes because I'm going 11-5 and they win in the division.
Okay.
Nice.
What about you guys?
Again.
You know what? Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
No, because I'm just saying again, Nagy has never lost to the Vikings. He has never lost to Detroit. So I'm picking those games as wins. I don't think Green Bay's 13-3 was a farce last year. And I'm thinking with this defense and this offense scoring 21 points, if they can score 21 points per game, they will win this division. And I'm picking 11-5 with a division win.
Okay. What's your prediction, guy?
I see your 11-5 with a caveat. I'll say 10-6 and stuff is like not the way it's supposed to, but I'm looking at 11-5, and here's why. I'm gonna tell you something, man. One thing about this Bill Lazor guy is he's taking quarterbacks who are like had this ceiling, They've had this ceiling and they've just been stagnant. And what he does is when he comes in, he brings these quarterbacks and say, dude, you're thinking too much. Just see the play, make the read, throw the ball. What happens is Mitch is too afraid to make a mistake. Like I said, Mitch is like the perfect, he's the quarterback kind of guy you want in your franchise. He doesn't throw players under the bus. When he messes up, he puts it on him. When they mess up, he said, he listens to guys. It's just that his facility, it was only so high. And the thing is, with that pressure, he's making these decisions like, I gotta throw this. Most guys can just step back. I don't see nothing, let me throw out of bounds. Mitch is like, I gotta make this play. This guy, I think, is gonna slow him down. And I think that when Mitch grows, now what happens is you can't stack all these guys up in the box. And I think David's gonna be like, he's gonna go off. So I'll say we average out. I'll say 10-6. But if Mitch shows out 11-5, we win the division.
Okay, so I'm looking at the first quarter of the season, and no doubt they should go 3-1 at a minimum. I mean, you starting out with Detroit. Next game is New York. Next game is Atlanta, and the next game is the Colts. Anything under 3-1, right? Anything under 3-1 is unacceptable. What do you think? How that quarter is going to start, guy?
I think it's going to be 3-1 or 4-0. And here's the deal. This is what I was talking about telling y'all earlier about this one angle that's going to trip y'all out. You guys play football. You ever notice like you're going into a game and it's an important game and you guys come out that tunnel and ain't nobody there? Your whole mindset changes. It's like, man, let's just go play this thing. You're not thinking too much. You're super loose. You ain't got 50,000 people screaming at you booing. You got the offensive coordinator running down to the end of the bench screaming, but you can hear him on the field. You can hear all the audibles. You can hear all the checks. You can hear everything. And it's like in your mind, no matter what you see in your mind, when you're in the huddle, you're thinking, oh, we just scrimmaging. So these rookie guys who got the jitters, they ain't going to have the same type of jitters because most of these guys have played for 30, 40,000 people. But I'm telling you, as soon as these guys come out that tunnel, they look around, they nothing but cardboard cutouts, their whole games are going to change. They're not going to have that same tightness. They'll be able to think a little clearly because you guys know, I mean, you played off on stage. So you know how it is like when a big game came out, as soon as you come out that tunnel and you hear that whoosh and see all those people, it's like, oh man. But if you walk out there and it was 3 people, it's like, you're going to blast these clowns. But that's my angle. And I think they got a chance of going 4-0. I really do. Matt Stafford's coming back doing his thing for the Lions, and I don't think that's going to matter because, like I said, Mitch has done his thing against them. The Giants are given Indianapolis, maybe Atlanta, but I say they got a chance of going 4-0 in the first. No worse than 3-1, but I think they're going to go 4-0 in the first quarter.
Okay. Now, Jay, what's yours? And we down to the last minute before the program ends. What is your prediction on the first quarter?
Okay, the first 4. I would love to say 4-0, but I think 3-1 because I think that game because that game is in Atlanta, it might be a struggle.
That's the one I got.
Outside of that, the Giants coming here. The Giants don't scare me. Yeah. The Giants don't scare me. Indianapolis with a 38-year-old Phillip Rivers, they don't really scare me. And the Lions don't scare me. So I really think if we go 3-1 in that first quarter, we got something to talk about.
Okay. Hey, thank you for your opinion. God, thank you for sitting in tonight for Tammy Harris.
Oh, yeah. Hey. God, peace out, bro. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Hey, for life, brother.
On Sunday, we're going to be live, and we're going to crank it up. Bears victory on Sunday.
Harris! All right. Bear down. Bear down. Good night.